Hi guys, this is Jiggy, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. The family photo is something that a lot of photographers tend to miss out on in terms of the potential. They think it's just purely documentation, but when I would take family photos, it is essential for me to put them in very, very good light because these are the photos that they will cherish the most. So you start off with something like this. It's just very clean, no distractions, just good light, good posing, good blocking. Take one good family photo. Make it a point to take a good family photo, and please make sure that none of your images are distorted, meaning don't make them look like midgets or don't stretch them out. Try to find the perfect lens in order for you to get a properly proportioned image such as this one. I shot this one at an A7R Mark II in a 16:35. Even if I shot this with a 16:35, notice you don't see any distortion in the image. Okay, so maybe one of these days I will tackle that. We'll see. We'll see how to get the proper camera angle, camera height, the lenses to use, what distortion you should be avoiding, and all those things. So if you can't find a place like this, then you go a bit tighter. Okay, but by taking shots like this, I always make sure to put our subjects in good light. Whenever I am taking family photos, there's something that you have to remember all the time, that this is the moment right before they're going to the ceremony, that emotions are going to be high. So put them in good light and then put in a little bit of words. Maybe you could ask the father to talk to the son and ask the dad and say that, hey, you might have some last minute messages for your son, and who knows, this might happen. All of a sudden it just becomes very, very emotional. So if it becomes very emotional, you've got beautiful light hitting them already, and it goes with the mood that you're trying to create. And these are what I call my post images, meaning I post them, or post unpost images, meaning I post them because I put them in good light, but I step back, get real emotions, and these are the images we get. And this was shot with a Sony A7S and a 24-70 f4. Now again, proper blocking with a 16:35 Mark II, with the A7R Mark II and a 16:35. And then afterwards, I would take pictures of after I take pictures of the entire family, I would take individual photos of the bride with the dad, the bride with the mother, the bride with the sisters, and all those things. But I would with this one, I shifted lenses already with a 24-70 because I knew for a fact that the moment I put them together, things are going to happen. Emotions are going to start flowing. So I needed a zoomable lens so that I could just quickly go from scene to scene, from tight to wide, and all those things. And true enough, this is what happened immediately after this. So while this was going on, this was happening in the background. So it was very easy for me to just pan and recompose everything because I was using a zoom lens. So 24-70, 2.8 GM. So there are times that you get lucky. While you're posing the bride and giving her beautiful light, this is artificial light coming from here, all of a sudden, the parents come into frame without them knowing it. So this is a type of image that I love creating. I love creating very, very emotional images. When I say I create them, I don't create the emotion, but I create the mood, I compose it, and I put them in certain situations in order for me to be able to create this type of mood. So this was shot with an A7R Mark III, again with a 24-70 2.8 GM. I had a continuous light here. And if you guys want to see how I light images like this, I'll put it in the description below. Again, it is how to create dramatic portraits anywhere. Next, the Bridal March. So the Bridal March here in the Philippines is very important because if you notice, we always have a lot of entourage members, like our godfathers, our godparents, we usually have a lot. But this is also very important because this one, for me, is the only time that I allow my photographers to shoot and continue shooting. just to be able to get good photos coming in. If they're just shooting with a 70 to 200 more often than not. Bridal March. This is always a part of our album here in the Philippines. Next, the wedding ceremony. Now, the wedding ceremony is very, very tricky. It's very difficult. This is the only time that we actually have very little control, if none at all, on what's going to be happening. So the only thing that we can do is hope and pray that there's something good that happens and we're able to capture it. So this is when we as wedding photographers become events photographers or photojournalists, because we're just there to capture moments, people crying and all those things. I'm sure you could see a lot of those images online, so that's why I am not putting it here, because I cannot say that it is part of the shot list because it's not something that we can get all the time. But I will be sharing with you guys some pictures that I know we can get all the time, such as this. I could always get this particular image of the bride entering the church. Why? Because I shot this after. So I don't necessarily have to get this during her bridal march. I can get her after. Meaning when everything is said and done, we'll just go back to the scene and we can recreate the moment that she's entering and then I put a light inside and created this more dramatic effect. So you don't have to really try to get that because you can get that after again. But you always have to look for a different angle. So again, as I was saying, everything that's happening in the church is really dependent on the church or the ceremony is dependent on the guests, on how emotional the family will be and all those other things. But you could always look for another angle. Like for example, this one, I shot this one with a Zeiss Batis 18mm 2.8 with my A7R Mark III. I had my camera on a light stand, put it way up, controlled it remotely via my phone, composed it, and took the shot just to give us a different angle. Last, the first kiss. So we're always rushing just to be able to get that first kiss when it comes to weddings. But again, we can make them do it again. So we can get that first kiss the normal way just by shooting it, taking the documentation of the first kiss. And afterwards, after the wedding is over, I actually ask the couple to go back there. I put a light here. This is my Phottix Indra. And put it in this situation, so that at this position, so that it looks as if it's coming from a window. And I made them just do another kiss, so it looks like a first kiss. I shot this with an A7R Mark III and the Sony Zeiss 51.4 with the Phottix Indra on top. So then comes the wedding group photos. The wedding group photos for me is one of the most essential, if not the most essential photos that you will be taking for the whole wedding. Because this is the time that everybody, all the loved ones of your couple will be present. And this is the perfect time for you to be able to take good family portraits, good clan photos, good portraits of all their godfathers or their godfathers, their entourage and everything. So whenever I'm taking the wedding group photos, I always make sure that I light it properly. I usually have my Phottix Indra with me and the Raja 105 modifier. It's a big 105 cm octabank in order for me to be able to create images like this. Next, the couple portrait. So this is the last. I won't talk about the reception anymore. But the couple portraits, I will state it before I show you the pictures. I will state it that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Meaning, every particular photographer has their signature style. So for me, every couple portrait that I do, I will try to take a specific image all the time before I venture out to creating other types of images. So I stick to this. This is the type of images that I am known for, and I try to get every time I shoot my couple portraits during their wedding. I shot this one with an A7R Mark II, a Sony Zeiss 16-35 f4. This one, I had a light here, I had a light in the back, controlled this one. Again, if you want to learn how I light, I'm going to post a link below. I won't go into lighting too much in this one, but I will post it below for you guys to see how I light my wedding photos. So what do I mean by don't fix it if it ain't broke? This particular image was shot in, I think, right now it's 2020. This was shot in 2016, so it's a 4-year-old image. But since then, I've always shot images very similar. See? If it ain't broke, why fix it? Okay, so that's it. So I hope in this video you guys probably got an insight of how I shoot one whole wedding, the lenses that I use, the cameras that I use, and in the other video how I light certain situations. But this is an overview basically already of how I light things. So to recap everything, I basically just shoot the details. My bride preps, which includes the hair down photos and the makeup shot. Then you have basically a few other portraits of your entourage. Then I do my formals. From the formals, I do the family portraits. From the family portraits, we go on to the ceremony. The ceremony includes your bridal march. Then from the bridal march, after the ceremony, you do the group photos. After the group photos, we do the couple portraits and on to reception. The reception, though, we're not including in this video anymore. We might do a separate video just for the reception. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and please don't forget, if you like the video, well, obviously like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you want to see more of my images, you can find me on Instagram. It's @JiggyAlejandrino, and till the next video, bye.